I'm holding Land O'Lakes cultured low-fat buttermilk in my hand. I don't think I've had buttermilk since I was probably 18 or 19 with my father on a hot summer day and didn't really like it. But today, in honor of Easter, which is tomorrow, we're gonna make a buttermilk pie. Now, a buttermilk pie, as you all know, is a desperation pie, named a desperation pie because it was prominent during the Great Depression when people would make pies out of ingredients they already had, so they wouldn't go out and spend more money on other ingredients. So anyway, this is a buttermilk pie, not to be confused with a chess pie. Chess pie, of course, again, who am I talking to? Know your audience, is a buttermilk pie with cornstarch, or a shoe fly pie, which is actually a molasses cake. And it was used by the, created, I suppose, by the Pennsylvania Dutch, and they ate that with their very strong dark coffee. So anyway, Dennis is gonna help me because I'm incapable of doing these things by myself. And happy Easter, here we go.
And I'm gonna film.
So we're gonna make the pie crust. I suppose it's a desperation pie crust.
Jim is cubing butter. Look at that go.
So in the past week, Dennis and we have made some vegetarian sausage, cheese, and mustard scrolls based on an Australian recipe. Again, thank you, Stephen Brooks. We made an amazing apricot pie that was so sweet that it redefined the word sweet. And then we made an olive bread. And if I were to grade my cooking, which I'm trying not to do because I want to enjoy this, I'd give it a B, B minus.
He's gonna mix this up by hand. Gross.
Now, I'm concerned that even though we're making a desperation pie, that we might have begun this experiment with a low energy. And so we're going to change things. We're going to be happier. It is Easter after all. Good Friday's past us. And we're just going to put this into the bowl with the pulsed flour and other. That's bad. Ready?
Ready. You're gonna mix this by hand?
Yeah.
Gross. Hard to watch. Quick, Jim, give me 5 adjectives of what it feels like.
Soft.
1,
Gooey.
2,
Yellow.
3,
Hopeful.
4,
Mysterious.
5. Now he's going to gently knead it together 3 or 4 times to make it smooth. Your technique has improved,
Thank you.
although you're covered in dough on your pinky. Now, we talked about this being a desperation pie, and we've just made our desperation crust, and in true 21st century desperation method, we're gonna wrap the crust in 21st century plastic wrap and let it sit in the stove, let it sit in the refrigerator for a couple of hours to chill, which I don't know that they necessarily had that kind of refrigeration back when times were more desperate. So to add an element of desperation, here's a guy with a knife. Ah!
So the dough for the crust is chilling right now, and I realized that earlier I said that I was going to grade my cooking. An amateur mistake. I was going to grade my baking. If I were to grade my cooking, oh my gosh, I'd give it a C. But my baking, like I said, B, B minus. Is that what I look like?
Okay, so according to our friend Lisa Helke, we should really try baking with ceramic tiles in the oven. So check it out. We're going to put these ceramic tiles right here, and then we're going to preheat the oven and thereby preheat the tiles. And then when we put our pie in on this lovely thing, we will simply place it there. It's supposed to give it a really nice crust. Of course, last time we burned the crust, so we'll find out.
The dough is chilled for the pie crust, so now we're going to roll it out. See? Wow, it's really cold. Huh, how about that?
The crust came out pretty well. We're just doing a little minor patching here. A little cosmetic surgery, but the whole base of it was actually really solid, so that's great. it took 12 hours to get off of the rolling surface. But other than that, it was great.
All right, so we are going to take 3 eggs, a half a cup of butter, softened. We're going to get 1.5 cups of white sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup buttermilk, hence the buttermilk pie. And then we're going to get the vanilla, the lemon juice, and the nutmeg. We're going to pour it into that, put them on the ceramic tiles, make sure the cat doesn't step in it, and then, then Easter will be with us. Now, the best thing about the buttermilk pie is that it's only 413 calories per serving, and the pie itself has probably about, I would imagine, 10, 12 servings. Okay, so this is in real time, like all of this. And as I mentioned earlier, the last time I had buttermilk was with my father, and I was about 18 or so. And we were in Rubidoux, which is West Riverside, California, and very, very hot day. It was July, it was probably over 100 degrees. And what would be better on a really hot day than Mexican food and a big glass of buttermilk? And I remember watching Dad drink it, and I thought, we're different. But in honor of my father, who's been gone for quite a while, I'm going to have a taste of the buttermilk before we put it in the topping. So here we go. Wow. So having tried the buttermilk and not regretting letting, how many years would that be? 44 years go between the last sip and this current sip, I'm going to pour this into the topping. Here we go. This is why it's called a buttermilk pie, he says, obviously. Okay, so it goes in the pie shell. Kind of lumpy.
Looks like quiche.
All right.
Bake 40 to 60 minutes or until center is firm. Okay, I'm going to take it out and now we're going to do the toothpick test. You'll see. Right.
All right, we're gonna do the toothpick test, see if it's done.
Clean?
It's like the oil check. All right, well, it's the Saturday before Easter. It's 11:40 at night. So we have 2 options. We can let the buttermilk pie cool and then be very European and have it at 1 in the morning. Or we can let it cool overnight and then have it for Easter breakfast. So that's the suspense. Well, happy Easter. And this is the buttermilk pie. You'll notice that it looks, what's the word I'm looking for? It looks smaller than you might anticipate. It looks like it might be lower, but we actually have a very high ceramic pie. It's not a pie tin, pie ceramic.
Pie dish?
It's like a pie mega ramekin.
It's a pie ramekin.
Anyway, so there it is. It spent the night cooling in the microwave. So we used it as a drawer, an expensive drawer. And so now we're going to cut it into caloric pieces and try it. But before we do this, I want to thank Lisa Heldke for the non-glazed ceramic tiles upon which we baked our buttermilk pie. Thank you, Lisa.
So here we are on the sun-drenched porch on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter again.
We also want to thank Anne-Marie Bossert for inspiring us
Yes.
to make this buttermilk pie.
So we thanked Lisa Heldke. We thanked Emery Buster. Do we have any other things?
We mentioned Stephen Brooks because he's
Stephen
sort of
Brooks.
got us on this.
That's
this
right.
Jag.
Jag. It's a jag.
All right, so
May I point out some of the features?
please.
Okay, so you'll notice the top layer is nicely cooked while it's nicely light in the middle. It's sort of supposed to be like a creme brulee. I'm going to say it turned out that way. If we turn the crust here, you'll see. You can't hear it, but it's nice and crisp and it looks flaky. So should we just give it a whirl? I don't know. Should we try it? Should I
Yeah,
go first?
sure. You go first. Then I'll.
Right. Here we go. I know it's delicious. I can see why it's so caloric. There's a nice hint of lemon. That lemon juice is great.
It's unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good though, right? I mean, it doesn't feel heavy. It feels light. I've got some crust on its own here. Fell apart a little bit. I'll just give that a shot. Now the crust is good. It looks burned. It looks darker, but it's actually quite good.
We were talking about synesthetes last night. People who, for example, taste colors or smell sounds. So,
Is that John Denver?
yeah,
Oh, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Well, same. Yeah, no, precisely. I mean, I think I don't know. I'm tasting hope, maybe, even though it's a Desperation Pie.
I taste resurrection.
I taste yellow, which was one of the adjectives I used last night. Anyway, happy Easter.
Happy Easter. What do you really think?
It's okay.